There is an unopened message we have been avoiding, a task we keep pushing to tomorrow, a decision that sits in our chest like a stone, a part of us that we can't face. And we have spent years calling ourselves lazy, broken, undisciplined, when the real lesson we run is something almost no one talks about. By the end of this video, we are going to understand the hidden mechanism underneath avoidance, why willpower has never worked on it, and the one small body step that does. But first, who this is for. This is for those of us who look responsible from the outside but are quietly drowning on the inside. The ones with the list of unanswered emails, the ones who can take care of everyone else but freeze when it is our own life on the table. The ones who have been told to just do it and felt something inside us slam shut even tighter. If we have ever wondered why we can be so capable and so paralyzed at the same time, this one is for us. Let's start with something almost embarrassingly specific. There is a task, it's not even a big one. Maybe it is a phone call, maybe it is opening a bill, maybe it is the thing we promised ourselves we would start, and every time we get near it, something strange happens. The body gets heavy, the mind gets foggy. Suddenly we are exhausted or starving or scrolling or cleaning a drawer we have not touched in a year, doing anything except that one thing. And afterward comes the second wave, the shame, the guilt maybe, the voice that says, what is wrong with me? Why can't I just do this? Why can't I just be a normal functioning adult? Everyone else manages this. So now we are carrying two weights instead of one, the undone task and the verdict that we are fundamentally lazy or weak. Here is the first thing I want to offer, gently and without judgment. That is almost certainly not what is happening. What looks like laziness from the outside and even from the inside is very often a nervous system that has learned that responsibility equals danger. Okay, let's widen the lens. For a lot of us, the relationship with responsibility got wired very early, and it got wired wrong, through no fault of our own. There are two common stories. The first one, we were given too much too soon. We became the parents of our own parents. We managed the household, the emotions, the chaos, while we were still children. This is called parentification. And when a child is forced to carry adult responsibility before they are ready, responsibility gets fused in the body with exhaustion, fear, and the loss of childhood, grief. So, as adults, the very smell of responsibility can trigger a deep full body refusal, not because we are immature, but because some part of us is finally justifiable, saying, I already did this, I am not doing it again. The second story. We were met with criticism, punishment, or impossible standards every time we tried and failed. So responsibility got fused with the terror of getting it wrong. And avoidance became the safest option, because we cannot fail at something we never start. Procrastination here is not laziness, it is protection that doesn't serve anymore. It is the part of us that decided long ago that not trying hurts less than trying and being crushed. In both cases, and maybe you have both cases like me, the running is not a character flaw. It is an old intelligent strategy that is still trying to keep us safe from a danger that in most cases no longer exists. Here is why we cannot simply discipline our way out of this, and why every productivity hack eventually fails us. When a task triggers that old sense of danger, the nervous system does not go into lazy. It goes into freeze, shutdown. It's the same biological state an animal enters when it is overwhelmed and cannot escape. In freeze, the body literally pulls energy away from the thinking, planning, do it now parts of the brain. It shuts down. The fog is not imaginary, the heaviness is not an excuse, it is physiology. And here is the cruel irony. Willpower, pressure, and self criticism all register to the nervous system as more threat. So, the harder we push, the deeper the freeze. We yell at ourselves to just do it, and the body responds by shutting down even further. And that indicates of how far we are disconnected from our body and our mind and what we're feeling. We are pressing the gas and the brake at the same time, and then blaming ourselves for not moving. The way out is not more force, the way out is more safety. We do not need to become more disciplined, we need to convince our nervous system that this task is not the old danger, and that does not happen through pressure. It happens through making this next step so small that the body does not register it as threat at all. Here is the practice, it is almost laughably small, and that is exactly why it works. First, bring to mind the task we have been avoiding and notice without judgment where it lives in the body. The chest, the throat, the gut, just noticed. We are not fixing it, we are meeting it. Now, place a hand wherever the heaviness is and say to it silently, I know this used to be dangerous, I'm here now. Take one slow breath. The body needs to know we are not about to force it off a cliff. And now here is the move. We are going to shrink the task until it is body sized. Not do the taxes, not even start the taxes, just open the folder, or even smaller, put the folder on the desk, or smaller still, touch the folder. We keep shrinking the step until the body stops bracing, until the part of us that froze says, okay, I can do that much. That is the entire practice. We do the one body size step, and when we stop, then we will tell ourselves it was enough. Because to a frozen nervous system, proving that responsibility can be safe, even once, even at the size of touching a folder, is worth more than any heroic burst we will only punish ourselves for not repeating. Remember the stone in the chest that we opened with? The thing we have been calling laziness for years. Here is its real name. It is a trauma response, a freeze response, built by a younger version of us who learned that responsibility meant danger, exhaustion, shame, guilt. It was never weakness. It was a survival strategy that simply outstayed its usefulness. And we cannot punish a survival strategy into stopping. We can only show it gently and repeatedly that the war is over. And here is something else worth saying out loud. Sometimes the things we are running from is not even ours to carry. Sometimes the avoidance is wisdom in disguise, a soul-deep refusal to keep being responsible for things and people that were never our job. Part of this work is learning how to tell the difference between the responsibility that is ours to reclaim and the responsibility that was never ours to hold in the first place. We are not lazy, we are not broken. We are a nervous system that learns to flinch, and that is learning one body-sized step at a time that it is finally safe to begin. Here is the experiment for this week. We are going to pick one thing we have been avoiding, and instead of trying to finish it, we are going to find the smallest possible step, so small it almost feels silly, and do only that. Then we stop, hand on heart, and say, that was enough, I proved it was safe. That single repetition rewires more than a month of forcing ever could. And if this video gave language to something you have been ashamed of in silence, do something older than just liking this. Tell me in the comments the smallest step we are going to take this week. Naming it makes it real, and it lets the rest of us see we are not the only one quietly frozen behind a capable face. Read them all. We are in this together. Until next time, thank you so very much for listening. As always, please like and subscribe if you support my content. It really helps me out with the algorithm. I love you all so very much. Stay safe, stay unharmed, and remember, frequency is power. Bye!